nothing wrong with being a billionaire, but if somebody is working 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and they can't make their rent, you're not paying them enough money. Maybe you should just be worth 900 million. Like, how does a CEO take a 8-figure bonus and none of your employees have dental insurance? They can't even go out and get a filling.
Hi, I stream 4 days a week on my Twitch and on my other YouTube channel, and I also have extra content on my Patreon.
You know, once when we were little, she bit me, so I bit her back, and then she called truce, so I said okay. And then she bit me again. Whore.
Slut.
Today I'm going to be reacting to Bill Burr. Destroys his reputation. Was kind of excited to see a Bill Burr title. I was like, oh my gosh, Bill Burr! Haven't gotten to react to him in a really long time. Maybe this will explain why?
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make, you know? You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? Yeah.
I can feel some foreshadowing. Yeah, I didn't realize until just now. This is from March 28th of 2011. So, foreshadow.
Then you take that fucking blood money and what he's done. Yeah, you couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
What did you do? What did you do? No.
The fuck is wrong with you?
The Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. And yeah, it was just this great positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that was fucking amazing. And the comedians that I've been talking to just saying like, dude, you can feel it. They wanted it. So it was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
All right, so after years of Bill Burr trashing celebrities for taking blood money and railing against billionaires and ranting about wealth inequality, he decided to go to Saudi Arabia and accept money from the royal family, who are known for using modern slave labor, which he's being paid not to mention and help cover up. You know, when he got back, he only talked about how amazing Saudi Arabia was. So he went from saying billionaires need to be put down like rabid dogs to taking money from a trillionaire family that's known for human rights violations and modern slavery and will kill citizens that speak out against them. So I don't think it gets more hypocritical than that.
No, see, you don't understand. You said trillionaires. So his issue's clearly with billionaires.
I don't think it gets more hypocritical than that. But as we know, obviously money talks, and it turns out Bill will drop his morals and destroy his reputation and credibility for $1.5 million. And now he's just getting cooked for it. People are so pissed at him and everyone doing the festival. Like, this has become a pretty big controversy, but out of everyone, Bill was definitely the most shocking for people. I mean, I don't think anybody is that surprised to see Tom Segura and Andrew Schultz taking the gig. So Bill, he's taking the most for this, you know, especially because of how hard he's just trashing the ruling class not too long ago. Like, I don't know how you could go from saying billionaires need to be put down to taking money from the Saudi royal family in less than a year.
So is he, I don't know if I caught that correctly, if he's being hypothetical. No one would be surprised if so-and-so and Tom Segura were to take a deal like this, but because Bill specifically has made such a profit and his reputation is based off of heavily, well, women jokes, but also that billionaires need to be put down like rabid dogs, it looks more hypocritical, so it's going to stand out more. Whereas maybe it's wrong that everyone did it, but the hypocrisy in him is just what everyone maybe notices. I'm not sure if that was a hypothetical, if those guys actually did take the same gig and they went over there too, and they're just not getting as much flack because it's like, yeah, well, we didn't expect much of them. We expected more from you. Or if it was, if they had done it, it wouldn't have been as shocking. But it's Bill Burr doing it. Regardless, point still stands that it's really odd. Even if you can argue someone would change their mind, you can change your mind. I mean, that's 2011. We're now going to pull up everything that everybody said over 10 years ago and hold it against them. But that's not what's happening here. You've mentioned it multiple times. That just happened to be from maybe one talk show or one podcast or whatever they had in 2011, where you happen to have been saying the same thing there. But you've said it in, honestly, probably most of your stand-up since then. I mean, you've kind of always said it. You're kind of known for the woman jokes and the rich people are too rich.
And it's not like Bill's career was falling apart and he desperately needs the money. I mean, he's already loaded.
My new perspective is there's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, but if somebody is working 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and they can't make their rent, you're not paying them enough money. Maybe you should just be worth 900 million. Like, how does a CEO take a 8-figure bonus and none of your employees have dental insurance? They can't even go out and get a filling.
Tired of hearing about people going to bed worried about what's going to happen next week. There is so much fucking money in this country, and there's so much work being done, you know. And if you work a full fucking week at a job, you should be able to pay your fucking rent. You shouldn't have to go out and get a fucking job and still be struggling. It's bad for the country. At least these fucking billionaires, they need to be put down. You know, like fucking rabid dogs. They're like rabid with fucking greed and just going out and just dividing everybody.
It just doesn't seem right that there's a huge difference between the person who's making you rich and how you're in all of the control of being able to decide if they're going to eat well that week. But you can buy like your 3rd yacht or something, your fourth home that you're going to Airbnb out. That just seems weird. Oh, but they need it for their second families. Like, Bill Burr used to make fun of this stuff. And now it just seems like we're creeping up on, okay, so he not only did a show and went over there, but that money specifically is kind of for the, hey, only speak positive about us. Isn't that almost, like, that could be arguably worse than just performing or doing a show. It's not a competition. We're not trying to say, well, that's worse than the celebrities you used to make fun of. Fine, whatever, they're all bad. But it's interesting that you used to make fun of them, and the extra layer to yours is that you can't say anything bad about them either.
So I have a feeling we probably won't hear him talk like that anymore. And if he does, everyone's just going to clown on him. There's no way people will take him seriously. I mean, he's just shameless.
How big
and
does your
he must
yacht
have thought people wouldn't have really paid attention to the festival, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because this is such a bad look. And it was kind of under the radar until a few weeks ago when other comedians started calling them out.
Comedian Zach Woods is going viral for calling out participants in Saudi Arabia's comedy festival. Some of the names include Bill Burr, Andrew Schultz, Kevin Hart, Pete Davidson, Dave Chappelle, and many more. Well, Dave Chappelle's another disappointing one, isn't that? Didn't he also kind of... Why are they all... Yeah, no, rich people, billionaires are awful. When, you know, they're not paying us. Or have different views from what we think. Not even the different views, clearly, because, you know, if you're paid, then who cares what their views are?
And then this clip of Shane Gillis went viral where he was talking about how he's turned down multiple offers. And now this story has gotten a ton of attention and everyone's commenting on it. And people are really disappointed in Bill Burr especially.
Everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys? Aren't they exactly the 9/11 guys?
Now, there's a lot of drips, killjoys, and dweebazoids who are saying, oh, they shouldn't do comedy over there because it's whitewashing a regime that just in June killed a journalist and killed Jamal Khashoggi and played a big role in 9/11. Shut up. Name one comedian who hasn't whored themselves out to a dictator.
Incredibly lonely it can feel to look around and see people you used to admire and respect cave and show up in Saudi Arabia to take a check and abandon even the most basic principles they always claim to hold.
Even if you're also one of those people who say, oh, well, 9/11 was an inside job, and that was a really long time ago, and that those same people aren't the same exact people. Okay, fine. What are they doing right now? How do they live right now? What are their values and morals and how they treat people in their society right now that you're supporting, regardless of 9/11? And maybe the women hating jokes were real. I didn't. I don't really know what to say. It's just disappointing, I guess. Kind of shocking. It's not supposed to sound like, oh, that's racist. You can't go perform for. No, but it's very hypocritical and very against what he's always seemed to stand up for. So it just seems weird.
These people have failed to employ the most basic common sense and critical thinking, and others have decided to cynically accept money in exchange for whitewashing and BS. At the same time, these same people claim to be progressive here in the United States.
I have to tell you, I really think that Bill Burr sort of f***ed up here, bro. I really think he f***ed up. This person said, hey, did you know that Bill Burr is going to the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival, the Riyadh Comedy Festival? And I said, that can't be true. No. That's not true. Is it? No, that's not true. Come on. Turns out it is.
These are all really big name comedians, and the two that stand up to me the most is Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr. And I know that's biased, because I've reacted to them like the most, but they're also the two most ones that I always hear referenced. I mean, Cat Williams was referenced a lot. Don't see him here. But yeah, I would say Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr, at least for maybe my time, probably before my time, were really huge comedians. I'm probably missing some names. I'm not speaking as this is a fact. This is my experience. I'm sorry if I'm missing some names. A lot of them I don't think look familiar. But they're like the two that also specifically make fun of this. Why are you doing something that you would make fun of? You would make fun of the kind of person that you're being right now in one of your bits. Like you would make fun of, as a comedian, that comedian who accepted going to this comedy festival in 2012. You'd make fun of these people. Oh, but now you're one of them because they're trillionaire families. I mean, it's bad enough to accept the money and go over there. Fine. That's already something that you would have made fun of. So, oh, we've grown as people. We've changed our mind. Fine. But now there's rules on you can't openly discuss and talk about us. So what was that word they used? Like blood money or something?
They've sold their soul. They've sold their ability to talk about shit. You're hypocrites now. And everything you say is to be looked at through the lens of taking millions of dollars from slave owners.
And also, obviously, part of the deal for these free speech warrior comedians is they can't say anything bad about the Saudi family, culture, government, religion, and I'm sure a ton of other stuff. And even before they went there, they weren't allowed to criticize any of that on their own podcast in America. Like Tim Dillon originally accepted an offer, and he started ranting about how they use slave labor on his podcast, and that got him fired.
That's interesting, because someone accepted it, but I mean, props to him a little, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll accept it, I'll go, I'll get paid, but I'm also going to be honest about having my differencing opinions from you and say, wow, did you know that they're like slave owners? That's crazy. And then he was fired. So I wonder what his comments were on being fired. Like, oh, that's okay. If you're going to fire me for like saying the truth, that's fine. It's ridiculous, but like, I don't regret saying it on being fired, because I wouldn't go back and be paid and then be private or secretive about it. I would think that he was told, hey, you can't do this, and he did it anyways, and then he found out. But he doesn't necessarily maybe regret it. That would be nice to know.
Oh, these comedians have to censor themselves and just say positive things about Saudi Arabia. They're basically Saudi shills now. Like, as soon as Chris DiStefano got there, they put a camera in his face and made him talk about how much he loves Saudi Arabia.
I'm loving this country so far. I've been here for about 10 hours. I've eaten more food than you can imagine. I want to know what I can do to become a Saudi citizen. My first time ever, I've never even been to the Middle East. But when I'm here now, I literally am like, why did I never want to come here? I wish I would have come here 10 years ago. I want to hopefully, I'd like to start another family in the Middle East and not tell my family back home. I'd like to live 2 lives.
Okay, see, you can write it off because it's funny. It's for rage baiting and it's comedic effect. He's literally saying, I want to start another family here and not tell my family back home. Haha, right, boys? That's funny. Ha ha ha. Okay, well, yeah, it's like a little funny, but it's also a little like, are you okay? Are you okay? I don't believe you. There's something weird. It's weird. You're being paid by the same people that you're speaking highly about. So of course it just seems like, okay, well, if we knew that you had the freedom to speak your mind, then maybe it would be a little less weird. But if we know that regardless of what you say, it has to be positive, or I would assume nothing, you can't really be put on camera if you have nothing to say. So it is kind of like, hey, say something positive, clown. So I'm not saying that their opinions aren't valid and it's a horrible place. I've never been there. Again, we're being open-minded, but if it's directly from a place that you know that they've said you can't say things that are bad about us, then clearly anything that's going to be marketed or made to the media on their part is going to be positive. It's not honest.
This is obviously what the festival is mostly about, just them doing positive PR for Saudi Arabia. So these comedians will never live this shit down. Like, every comedian that didn't do it is just going to be busting their balls about it, especially the ones that turned down offers, which is going to be great. You know, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Bill Burr needs to be roasted for this. Like, other than Chris, he might be shilling the most so far. It sounds like he really wants to do more gigs there. Like, he does not give a I mean, he's getting a ton of backlash. His fans are so disappointed. All his comments are negative, and people want to hear what he has to say about it. And he did address it on the most recent episode, but he just talked about how amazing it was and how it's the best thing he's ever done, which is exactly what the Saudis want. Like, this is why they're really paying him. And he obviously wants to keep doing gigs there and making $1.5 million a show. So, of course, he's going to go all out, shilling for the Saudis.
I'm not even sure what to say at this point. I really like Bill Burr, so I'm not looking for a reason to, ooh, let's make a video trashing people. I really don't like videos like that. I don't like videos that are divisive about men and women, trashing women. I don't like videos that are even trashing men. We just don't do a lot of them here. I don't like videos where you're specifically calling out someone like, wow, they're such a bad person, they're horrible. It's like, yeah, they probably are, but I've never met them, and it just seems negative, you know, to talk about stuff like that. But this one is really interesting because we've watched Bill Burr a lot on this channel, and I really like him as a comedian. So it is kind of disappointing, like, wait, what? Oh, again, people can change their mind, but I just think that whenever it's such a dramatic opinion like this, and you've made multiple jokes on it, it's not like one thing that you posted on Twitter 12 years ago. It would be fair for it to be like, that's, you know, he probably changed his mind, but it's a completely different tone shift.
He's going to go all out, shilling for the Saudis.
Of Saudi Arabia is what I've seen, like, on the news. I literally think I'm going to land, you know, and everybody's going to be screaming, death to America, and they're going to have, like, machetes and want to, like, chop my head off, right? Because this is what I've been fed about that part of the world, right? And we're flying over it. It's nothing but, like, these long roads and sand. It's like nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck did I get myself into? And then we land, and everybody's just regular. They're dressed different, but they're regular. Like people just shooting the hey, how you doing? You know, welcome. We're saying, hey, we know we're happy to be here. And we're driving around, and then I'm just like going like, I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks next to a Pete's Coffee? Next to a Burger King, next to a McDonald's, next to a Pizza Hut, next to a Dunkin' Donuts, next to a Krispy Kreme, next to a Cheesecake Factory, next to a KFC, next to a Chili's? They got a Chili's over here?
Like, Starbucks, that's only Americans. What's your point? Because they have KFC, we can all be friends? I take back everything that I said about people who have billions, trillions of dollars and are slave owners? I see. All the things that you've made joke about, you've arguably stepped into a room that's even worse. But now that you're making money off of it, you're going to shush. You're going to be quiet. I love this shirt. Not all billionaires. You know, now all the comedians who didn't go are going to wear shirts that say not all comedians. And you can't, because you're one of them.
Then we go into the mall because I want to get my kids something. There was a Timberland store. I could have bought Timberlands like I was in Brooklyn, New York. And then there's advertisement for like boxing and Formula One and MotoGP and golf and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh. And then it just struck me as funny. It's like, they're eating this too. They're going to have to get some bigger clothes. They're going to end up looking like us. So I go down to do the show, right? And they say, all right, the front 2 rows is going to be all diplomats in these padded seats. And then up top, the royals are going to be there.
It feels as if he's looking for a joke. It's almost as if you can't say anything else because your jokes are usually mean or they're honest, but they're like poking fun at something that's like bad. And because you can't do that, you just started listing Cheesecake Factory, Chili's, Pete's Coffee. And it's like, we got it with the Starbucks. Do you not know what to say because you're not really sure of how to keep track of what to make fun of that's actually funny with this extra layer of, oh, you can't be too honest because it could be bad. Now you're not even funny anymore because you're too dodging bullets. Like, oh, wait, hold on, I can't step on that. Let me say it this way. Let me just keep naming restaurants. Yeah, that'll drive it home. Also, this meme, guessing Nia would have been all smiles here if Trump had offered Bill $20 million to do a show at the White House then. Quite the picture. I've never seen this before. She's flipping off Donald Trump. That's also a good point. If people want to blame her for how her views are pretty different from what they would think that Bill at least would outwardly express, pretty Democrat, liberal, whatever you would call it. I'm not sure what she represents herself as, but clearly against Trump. It's weird that, okay, well, even if he argues for not doing certain things because of his wife, you would do this? So is she either okay with it or are you just now not listening to her? So where's all the excuses in the past? Because it's either her fault all the way or it's not at all. And you can pick and choose when you listen to her and change your values.
The people, okay, they want a show. You could feel it. I was talking to the other comics. You could feel it. They wanted you to push, right? It was really exciting. So I go up on stage and I start doing my shit and they're into it. Everything's going good. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm checking out the diplomats as I'm doing this stuff, and they're all laughing. All right, so I'm going to push a little farther. And all of a sudden, I start getting in the zone. This is really amazing. And it was just this great exchange of energy, right? So the Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. And, yeah, it was just this great positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that was amazing. And the comedians that I've been talking to just saying like, dude, you can feel it. They wanted it. They wanted it. They wanted you to like the people want, like, you know, they go online and they see it. And they want to like see real stand-up comedy. So, it was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
You can say mind-blowing, but you can't make the inside joke with that because it would be offensive. See, Bill in the past would have said, you know what else is mind-blowing? Like, oh, these people really want to see comedy. Like, that's what they're here for. They have no comedians there? Nobody's funny there? Maybe no one's funny there because the tone's different. Because of some stuff that's going on. They have to bring in comedians from somewhere else who can't say anything bad about them but have a lot of representation and a lot of eyes in media from other people from a different place. No one's funny there. No one has a joke. You have to get everybody from somewhere else.
It was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
And some of the comments on this podcast have almost as many likes as the podcast, which is a bad sign. And it has almost 80% dislikes. So he's just getting destroyed here. And like someone said in this podcast, Bill tells us about how Saudi Arabia is not bad because they have American fast food. And would you take a gig in the U.S. where you're not allowed to make fun of Trump? And Bill hates billionaires, but only if they're not paying him. And all his comments on Instagram are the same. So I think a lot of people are done with him. I mean, his career will probably be fine. You know, his career in Hollywood will be fine. But it sounds like a lot of the fans of his podcast and fans of what he's been saying the past year about billionaires and wealth inequality are probably done with him. But let me know what you guys think. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my Patreon. I just posted another Duncan Trussell video because that dude has completely lost it. It's worse than I thought. I mean, he might be the worst at handling criticism. And same thing with Theo Vaughn. He crashed out recently and completely bombed at his Netflix taping. And it was brutal. I mean, the Rogan sphere is completely falling apart now. And I've been covering all that over on my Patreon. There are over 150 exclusive videos. So if you want to stay up to date with everything and you enjoy the channel and want extra content, make sure you check it out. It's definitely worth it. I'll put a link in the description.
Oh, that seems so harsh. Rogan's Circle, the laughing stock of the... Yeah, I don't keep up with a lot of stuff, and it's a little bit hard for me to talk about people in a criticizing way. It typically makes me uncomfortable. I think back a lot on some of the things that have been cut out where I'm like, oh, but I can understand where they're coming from, and then that doesn't even make it in the video. So I just want to make sure that I'm trying to be aware and open-minded too. I know I don't fully know what's going on, but again, I think it just speaks for a lot of the fans themselves saying, hey, would you accept a deal to speak at the White House if you weren't allowed to make fun of Trump? It's like, probably not. Like, I think the leading up to the show and the coming back and not being able to express your own opinion is what's really shocking. Because the whole point of comedy, which is what a lot of them have always been the ones to teach everybody else, is you should never be afraid or hold back in what you're going to say. And Dave Chappelle has been, I don't want to say a martyr, but like a leader in the, you will not scare me about being canceled. I will make my jokes. You'll not tell me that I hate trans because I make trans jokes. I knew someone who's trans. He has a whole story, he has a whole thing to go with it. You will not tell me what I can and cannot joke about. It's his whole thing. And the argument could be, well, I wasn't going to make jokes about them. It's a valid reason. Well, do you have an opinion on this? And it's like, I don't really know what's going on. How dare you not know? It's like, do you know everything that's going on? Like, I know your fight is very important, but not your fight is not everyone else's fight. So it's valid if he even says something like, oh, well, I wouldn't have said anything bad anyways, because I didn't really know anything about it. It's not in my list of jokes. It wasn't on my radar. So then paying me to not say anything bad is easy because I don't have anything bad to say. But you went over there and let's just say you did see something, or you do have an opinion, or you thought, slavery's wrong, I don't know. And you come back and you want to make a joke about it. Accepting money, saying that you can't do that is odd. It's weird. Weird. Yeah, I don't want to make, I want my videos to be a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more playful, but I'm not a comedian, so it's hard to be like, Billy boy, what are you doing? Because it is just kind of confusing. It's like, well, I feel like I haven't heard from him, seen a lot of his jokes, and then this is like a weird pop-up. This is a weird, whoa, it's been a few years. What have you been up to? Wish I didn't ask. Yeah. Odd. I don't know, maybe they're just like getting older and they're like, look, we're gonna retire eventually. I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. Me not going isn't going to stop them. But comedy and the freedom to make a joke about anything has now been paid for. You have officially been bought. You have a price. That's what you told everyone. Good for Shane and anybody who said no. Again, it's completely valid to change your mind, but it's easier to convince people that you innocently changed their mind if you've only shared that opinion 1 or 2 times and it was 10 years ago. And it hasn't been your whole shtick, your whole motto for your entire career as a freedom of speech in your comedy is very important, and down with the billionaires who pay for things and accepting blood money. Kind of important. But yeah, this video is a little long. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, I would love for you to join one of my live streams. Oh my gosh, I'm hoarding food. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Someone else can have it. I didn't put them in there. I'm like, oh, I don't have one. I live stream on my other YouTube channel and on my Twitch. Those links are down below. And I'll see y'all next time.